search engine optimization is dead, or is it dying, or is it just re-emerging in a different form?
You know, you're having a talk about your roof and like, oh man, water poured in from my roof and now there's water all over my floor. And you're talking to your ChatGPT, it's picked up your location. It now knows you have a hole in your roof and you're going to need new flooring. So already it's searching the internet like, oh, emergency roofer, we need an emergency floorer, we need a mold remediation team. And it's finding fastest path to the business that they can recommend. Almost all LLMs score things differently. All of them will grab different pieces of data and weigh them differently while they're doing recommendations, which is why it's so important to have the multi-model.
AI, is it hype or help? G'day and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Pete Cooper, and our topic is AI, hype or help. Today's guest is Theresa Grittner. She has a company called Tag Makes SC, and she's helping companies stay relevant with AI, keeping their online presence aligned with where AI is taking us. This is a great call. Stick around. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Theresa. Theresa, thank you for joining us. You're with your company called Tag Maker. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Tag Makes. Did I get that wrong? Is it Tag Makes?
Yeah, my name is Theresa. I live in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I specialize in AI optimization for small businesses. And with that, I actually started all of that just as a digital design side of things. And from that, actually, I used to train horses. And so it was kind of a big jump into the digital world. But I was always doing graphic design. And as things were evolving, and I started this 2025, the beginning of 2025, I was actually looking like, all right, what else can I do? Because we all know trading time for money means you're always out of time and out of money. So I'm like, I gotta learn a better skill. And so I actually started teaching myself with all of the assistants from all of the AIs.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next thing that's happening and make me the best, like quiz me. I built a 90-day curriculum and had them just go through and keep on. And then I get a refresher every month and catch up on all of the new things, which, my gosh, it's coming out so fast now. I probably need to bump that up to every week.
Yeah. So what, just take us through your business. So tell me the name and what it does, and why you need it.
So Tag Makes is the doer, and I built and run the ARO Index, and that takes local businesses of any niche and runs them through a multi-AI query of the exact same query at the exact same time. So you'll get Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT. It grabs all of that data, including a client persona that the AI thinks that they're looking for, and ranks them. And I hate saying ranking because that's not a real thing for like AI, but it scores them against other businesses in the same niche in the same location. So you can really see which business is getting more recommendations than the other one.
Right. So for our audience, what's happening in the world, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we used to have this thing called search engine optimization. And when you searched for something on Google, for example, it would use your the outcome of the search engine optimization to decide whether you were going to be bumped up in the organic search just after the advertising, right? So that you would be right at that top there and you'd be something that would be clicked on, and therefore you would drive traffic to your website. But that's all changed now, hasn't it? Because so many people are not using Google the way they used to. They're using LLMs, ChatGPT and Claude,
Well,
right?
and Google itself is changing. By the end of this year, they're changing to all AI search anyway.
Right.
So they updated their thing. I think it was like the May update. They announced that they were phasing out SEO and going to start tracking how LLMs actually read, how their specific LLM reads websites.
Well, that's interesting. So they're even phasing out SEO. search engine optimization, which has been around for as long as I can remember when it comes to the internet. And there's still people saying to me that, oh, well, I'll do search engine optimization for your business. And I'm wondering to myself, well, is that a thing anymore? I mean, Theresa, do you see that search engine optimization is dead, or is it dying? Or is it just re-emerging in a different form?
I think it's evolving. I think it's re-emerging. I think it's making an industry that had really set patterns and the ability to track really easy to find data. It's
Mm,
making that entire industry shift and be inventive and innovative on how they track the data, because like there isn't any set tracking from any of the LLMs. They can't say 60 clients came from ChatGPT.
yeah.
They're building that in. It probably will come now that they're going to start doing advertising, but right now there's no definitive correct data set coming from ChatGPT. So that's why I built the index, is
Mm,
small business owners and in particular, honestly, SEO agencies could evolve and have a tool that gave that data and that science back to them.
yeah. That's great. So I actually ran your index on a couple of our websites, and we got two of them in the 80s, and one of them was, I think, about 15, like out of 100, right? And so, and that 80 to 85, we came up green, which I guess that means it's good. And the one that was 15 was red, that means it's bad.
Yeah, try to make it very simple.
Yeah. So we haven't matched in that case of the one that was bad. We haven't matched the persona that we think is going to land on that website with something that's going to rank in the new search engine in the new world of LLMs, right?
Yeah.
There's a disconnect there. So I'm just trying to really ground our audience down into what is the problem that's emerging for them if they don't start shifting over now. And that's I think that example explains it, right? If they're still doing search engine optimization, that's not going to rank them in the new world of LLMs, right?
Almost never. And the biggest thing is you're going from a set data set to an ever moving one. So it's a conversation that people are having, and the LLMs being predictive are going to go, you're having a talk about your roof and like, oh man, water poured in from my roof and now there's water all over my floor, and you're talking to your chat gpt, it's picked up your location, it now knows you have a hole in your roof and you're going to need new flooring. So already it's searching the internet like, oh, emergency roofer, we need an emergency floor, we need a mold remediation team. And it's finding, and robots are lazy, like they're finding the quickest, fastest path to the business that they can recommend to fulfill their like duty, their coding to make us happy. And that's really what it is it's SEO and making it so that the robots can easily find the answers for the clients, having a conversation with them, because that's really
Wow.
what, all they want to do.
Wow. You know,
Yep.
that's a great example because I mean I'm a homeowner and I've had to use more traditional methods. I mean, I think it was one of the portals for finding local people. I don't want to give out a name, but it started with an A, and I had to sort of do quite a bit of manual work to sort through the people that I wanted, review them for myself, contact them through the platform, all this kind of back and forward, before I ended up getting the guy out here several days later. And of course, every time I would move from the platform to that person, I'm also having to reestablish context. Like you said, it's well, yeah, I need a roofer, but I also need some flooring done. I mean,
Mhm.
and I need it done now versus I can't wait 3 weeks. So all that context is captured so well. When you have a conversation with, I'm using my thumb because I tend to use
I know, me too.
I use the app
I
on
use
my
both.
phone. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, I used to go like this,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
now I'm going like this. Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, you're the first person that I've talked at depth about this shift um, from the old SEO world to the new. What did you call it? It's not you're got your own ranking system, but we call it what do you call it?
A
ASEO?
DEO, AISEO, LLMEO. Like uh, I think what's happening is so many people are seeing there's a market here, but they're not sure how to capture that market. So they figure if they can't win at AEO, they'll just rename it something else. And then they'll rename it something else and give it a slightly different definition. And I have all of that. I wrote down as many of them as I could and put them on my glossary page because, like,
Mm-hmm.
I get lost too, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's, again, back to like the science of it is all of those are more predictive texts. And so it's essentially prompt tracking. And
Mm-hmm.
without the context behind the prompt, you will never get the same answer from ChatGPT about your business. So
Mm-hmm.
when I do businesses on the index, I use a pretty basic query at like best marketer in New York City, for example. And what that does is it can find those base signals showing like best roofer, best emergency roofer, it's not anything
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
super in depth. That also does this, that also does, we don't need any of that. Like, will the robots, again, the very lazy robots, they're going to find the easiest path to making the user happy. If your website's not that path, you're not going to like, and it's happening now. It's not, oh, this is a next year problem for small businesses. It's not. And big companies are already dumping billions of dollars into this research,
Mm-hmm.
how to get ahead in it. And so that's a really big thing about why the index was really important to get going. It wasn't just get good at the
Mm-hmm.
optimization part because um but like make sure that other small businesses don't get pushed out by the big corporations because that's I don't love that. I want us to be able to still have like a say in what happens with our
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of the things about the US culture, which I love, is the entrepreneurial spirit, and that means, having the independence and running your own show and having your own business and building that up. I mean, I think that's wonderful over here. I mean, it's good. It's strong in Australia as well, where I come from, and I guess other parts of the world. But we're not all submitting to the powers that be. And I think that's really important. You're helping that. And I think I'd like to be helping that too. But you've mentioned something which is something I've noticed, and that is that the big Fortune 500 companies, they're hiring the McKinseys and the Boston Consulting Groups to come in and help them with all those problems, establish themselves and define this. And they've got all the biggest brains and the biggest money to redirect their efforts to optimize themselves in this new world. Um, the tier down, which is what we're talking about, I guess, or maybe not even enterprise, maybe small business, a couple of tiers down, where do we go to get that kind of McKinsey support,
exactly. And having like the SEMrush and all of the other really big SEO now turning AI SEO companies, they're
Hmm.
still geared towards enterprise level generative and prompt tracking and mentions and share of voice, which is just like, oh, we did a prompt and you showed up 34% of the time when we prompted for you. But if you work with us, you can show up 47% of the time. And
Hmm.
being math, like, yeah, you want to show up more. But I mean, that's just vanity. It's not showing
Hmm.
like you actually get recommended over your competitor. It's just
Hmm.
showing that you show up more. Like, is that good? Is it bad? Like,
Yeah.
where are you showing up more and how did you do that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that became, I like to ask why a lot. Like that's like my favorite question is like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? And so that's really the whole bottom of it. And that's, I just put it all up on the internet for everybody to see. Like, this is why. And if
Hmm.
you go through, you saw, you get your report, it'll tell you all the things. It'll tell you if, yes, it is $47 to see the entire report because
Hmm.
APIs are expensive. Like I would do it for free if it would
No,
have
exactly.
money
Yeah.
to it. Um, but yeah, you can see the whole report. It'll tell you straight up, fix these things, just hand it to your web guy or you go through, fix
Mm-hmm.
these things, use these words, and it's from all the models. It's not just from ChatGPT. It's not just from Claude. And in particular, it's not from your personal biased ChatGPT. I keep all of the models unbiased so they don't develop a memory of like, oh,
Hmm.
I need to remember that I really liked this HVAC company because they said something nice about ChatGPT or something. So they're all starting at zero. They've essentially never heard of your business. And then they can just go in, give you the cut and dry. Like, these are the things that are wrong. This is how you fix it. Ta da.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you
So
rerun.
your
Oh,
process, your process to recap is they put their URL in from their website and then press the button. It's as simple as that, right?
it's URL query because it's
Hmm.
important to put the query in. And
Hmm.
if you're a location based business, not having the location in it's not going to do you any good because you won't know if competitor down the street is doing better than you. So,
Right,
and
right.
that's really like 60% of the index being public. And then right away, you'll get your report. It takes, I don't know, 45 seconds to call all the models.
Mm,
All of that is saved. And
mm,
if you're interested in following it, so after you do your fixed plan, you want to follow it, there's a dashboard available so you can see, okay, I fixed all these things, rerun it, and you can see right away I had a score change of 45 points. So like I had an architect website that I started with, and this was before I even had it automated. I was on all four models just typing away. And he started off in like the 60s, 50s or 60s, and now I think he's at like 94, and
mm.
he's always in the top 10. So as AI as a whole gets more information, the scores fluctuate a little between prompts.
And
You can have,
94 is really good, right?
yeah, it's consistently in the 90s,
Mm.
and that's one of my favorite things to see is like, oh good, this stuff is sticking. Not only that, but at that point I could consistently back it up with Google as well. And on it to Search Console, be like, look, this is, now you have 300% more traffic in the last 30 days. I don't know where it's coming from, but if I have to assume, it would be ChatGPT.
Right, right. So let's talk. Okay, so two things. First of all, I need to do a little bit more work on my websites. They're not only the one that's in the red, but also even these 80s could perhaps be up into the 90s with some
Mhm.
of your work, recommendations. So what's the user, how's the user journey now? We talked a little bit about the guy who's got his, broken roof and damage to the floor. People are using ChatGPT enormously and then they're chatting to them. I mean, I'm even using the voice sometimes. It then represents the story, but there'll be links, specific links, and it's when they hit that link that it goes to the website, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's pretty much how you close the sale. So that's kind of interesting. So rather than me perhaps going through these other sort of more localized portals, which like I said before, this one starts with an A, which I've used for tradespeople, um, which is kind of like a marketplace. This kind of bypasses that and takes the user from the chat straight to the website.
Exactly. And the almost all LLMs score things differently. All of them will grab different pieces of data and weigh them differently while they're doing recommendations,
Yeah,
which is why it's so important to have the multi-model because
yeah,
you can be invisible on Perplexity, but like the recommendation for Claude, but then ChatGPT and Gemini are in the middle. So having that multi-model is really the
mm,
consistency that a
mm,
website needs. So they all score, and one of the places they look is actually the marketplace that starts with an A is local marketplaces and local directories with reviews. So they'll
mm.
look there, and you can ask your favorite LLM for like, what do you track? Why do you weigh it that way? I mean, they'll go way into it. It gets wild, but
Mm.
one of them will tell you, it can go way into depth as to why they picked who they picked, and you can keep on asking, and it becomes I mean, it's a journey, and
Ah,
there's no way to reverse that in bulk to show somebody, oh, I can rank you number one in Chat GPT for this, because it's predictive and it's cumulative from the conversation. So
that's
the
interesting.
recommendation is about it.
So if yeah, this is interesting. So ChatGPT or any LLM will be surveying not just the website for what's relevant, but all the other pieces out there, which might be rankings in various other marketplaces, and then
Mm.
using that to create the best recommendation. That's good in a way, because if you've got an established credibility, it's leveraging that. But then the problem is you don't need that marketplace to get the direction. So how does the marketplace fit into this now? Because they're just recommenders. They're not, you don't need to use that marketplace to get the business because they're coming straight to your website.
And that is definitely it. And I hate saying it because it makes me really sad, and I love those type of marketplaces also, but they
Mm,
are probably going to phase out, or at least their pricing model is going to change, because
mm,
I hope my mom doesn't see this, she'll be sad, but like she still has trouble with your email. There will always be people that need
mm.
the tech that's 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years behind.
Right.
I've people
Yeah.
with phones, so
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not judging. All I'm saying is none of that's ever going to be all the way dead.
Right.
However, if you're like, wow, I don't want to spend 4 days interviewing potential maybe candidates to fix my roof
Mm.
because I keep getting referred people that are 100 miles away or don't have openings or don't do these type of shingles, like you're going to use AI because that's what
Mm.
we're here for. It's here to make our lives like easier and more efficient.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually find it's a much more pleasant experience for me to rather than searching, which I find rather tedious. It's like to me, I think of it as like if I wanted to find a pair of socks, right? I don't really like. I'd want to just go and grab them.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Oh, did I
Have,
wear them already? Did I have to go and check the laundry? I have to pick the basket, check the washing machine. Are they over here, over there? I just want to grab them. And I've often find that's where I am with an online experience. I'm looking for things, just spending my time searching and looking and checking and reading and trying to find out for myself. And I guess going through a lot of sales material to find the truth. Like we talked about, the right shingles. That's a really good example. And so, but the chat experience takes me where I want it to go right from the get-go. I say, my roof has such and such a shingles and da da da, and I explain it. And then it'll even come back to me with, oh, where are you located? Are the shingles a certain color? Like
yeah.
it really sort of meets me where I want to be, not where I have to search through. So I'm a bit of a fan of them, really. I mean, I don't know what you feel, but
Love them. They are all my assistants, and we have
mm,
regular meetings. I'm like, all right, guys, what do I need to know? And usually it's like, what updates have happened? Like, how
mm,
have things changed? Why did they change? How does this affect my life? Like, let's go right there. And then it's, what do I need to do for the business? And no, it's great. I managed to do all of this like entirely on my own. Like from
hmm
I started on my tablet. Like I just went for it. I'm like, well, go big or go home, I guess. Like let's do it.
yeah, yeah,
And it's just honestly getting the word out about it and showing that it's so much different. It's such a different step than the share of voice and the mentions and the companies that have that big nationwide presence.
hmm
Those one, I mean, they get to spend $1 bazillion on advertising, and I grow organically. So
mm,
it's that little balance, and it shows to me it aligns with what I'm trying to do anyway. So I just,
hmm
but yeah, one of the concerning things that a lot of people bring up is when you're having that conversation, especially with the shingles, is AIs want to please their users so much. It's hard coded into all of them that they'll hallucinate. They'll bring up fake facts and they'll bring up,
hmm
oh, this store has this. Just kidding. They've never had it. And they'll be like,
right,
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And it's
yeah,
that an apology. And you're like, what? Like, that's a lot.
yes,
30 minutes to get these shingles. And those hallucinations, if they're published, can become something that AI cites.
yes,
And
mm,
that's another kind of concern with like the share of voice and mentions and things like that
mm,
is
mm,
you can't track what they're recommending or what they're mentioning.
mm,
So it could be all fake. Like when I was seeding the index, I just did a Google Maps and scraped it and grabbed as many URLs as I could. And by the end of it, I was using Perplexity and Gemini for it.
hmm
More than 50% of the URLs I was getting
mm.
were bad. It
Oh,
was literally like besthvacinCharleston.com. And I'm like, guys, I don't this isn't a real URL. And
yeah,
they 100%
really,
confidence, like, what? And then it would follow up with, oh, I guess I went a little off the rails there. And I'm like, what,
yes,
dude?
you did,
Like,
yes,
yes, you did. So it was a lot of learning through failure and a lot of burned API credits and breaking
yes,
things and refixing
yes.
them.
That's right. I actually had a what we call an AR level up with a CEO this last week, and he one of his complaints was exactly that, that where he asks it something, it gives an answer, and he goes, no, that it challenges it and says, do better. I don't like it, or can you be more whatever he would say, they would say, oh yeah, sure, and then they would do it right the second time, and he would say, well, why doesn't it just do it the right the first time? And I think that's the reason. It's because it wants to please you first, even
Yes.
if it's wrong.
Yep. And so that's
Hmm
like going into all of the deep science of how to program your APIs or your
Mm.
APIs, your AIs is just like like you got to give it really specific directions. My 7-year-old got really interested in Claude. She likes to watch me work, and she saw me talking to it through the
Hmm.
little microphone like one does. She said, Mom, I want to talk to Claude. And I had to give it the most secure guardrails. I was like, you will only have a conversation for 7-year-olds. You will not mention anything outside of the scope of a regular 7-year-old's life. And at the end, we're driving to camp today. And she's like, Mom, why did you tell the AI to do all those things? I'm like, baby, those are guardrails. It's just like I can drive the truck and there's a ditch on each side of the road. I know
Mm-hmm.
not to drive the truck into the ditch. But
Hmm.
you, if you were driving the truck, wouldn't. So I have to put those guardrails on AI and tell them what not to do because they'll just do it. Like they'll go
Mm.
wherever you tell them to go. And she's like, really? And I'm like, don't.
Wow, that's you've got a uh great analogy there, and also a really good example of your parenting style, Teresa, which I really admire. I really admire that the idea that hey, there's a boundary here. I'm going to let you do this. You can play in the backyard, but you can't go out the front, or you can come in before dark, or whatever the boundaries are. And sometimes I don't always see that. I sometimes see parents just, oh, let them sort it all out for themselves, and
Well,
and I think that's dangerous.
gravity be a natural consequence on a regular basis, but
Yeah.
there's always boundaries before that.
Yeah, well, the gravity is something that they'll learn from the time they're born. But some of the things in life, it's not so easy to see the consequences of what's happening. There can be several steps that can put them into danger or in jeopardy that they are not aware of, and have no way of understanding. And I think you just nicely framed a good parenting paradigm. And also, you put it into the new context, which is AI. Like, how did you do that exactly? Just go back over that. You actually told the LLM, this is you're going to hear from a 7-year-old now, and you told it this is the framework. But what happens when you flip back to yourself? Did you let the guardrails off? How did you handle that?
So I kept it locked in one conversation in one thread.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, as soon as she was on my computer and I just went from my phone and I was like, I'm going to be signing you out. I will come in there. You're going to say, and thankfully she can read, but she's not a fast reader yet. So she didn't see that conversation in the middle of her talking. It was dinosaurs and radioactive things. It was
Hmm.
deep conversation for the 7-year-old.
7-year-old. Yep.
Yep. She had
I'm
questions.
still a 7-year-old. I love that
Me
stuff.
too. But yeah, as soon as I walked in, I was like, "Hi, Claude, I'm back." And they go, "Oh, hi, Mom. Looks like it's time for Remy to go to camp." And I'm like, "There we go, buddy." And it ended organically. It was great. Like I've never done that before. It was just honestly,
Mm,
it worked out well. And now
mm,
I know for the future how to kind of build it. And I told her
yeah.
I'll set up her own little Claude on her computer, and she gets to practice with it.
Ah.
And I'll just be oversighting the entire thing and just really, really observing where Claude goes, and then I can rebuild her profile and then observe again, rebuild, and
Oh, and how often would you check in like that?
probably every day. I'd probably just real quick read over the transcript. AI is terrifying, and
Mm,
I don't want her learning anything like the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus style stuff yet. You know what I mean? Like I don't want
mm.
her to know about those details yet.
Oh, I still remember when I found out,
Yeah, I want to learn about it
it
from
was
Claude.
traumatic. I didn't want to know. I tried to unlearn it.
Exactly. And I yeah, too young. So I'm just gonna try to keep as many like still have conversations, but like keep them on here, keep them on these like try to redirect things like that. And she likes to talk to AI, so it'd be pretty easy just to hear how that's going.
Yeah, right. That's right. I'm always trying to extend my boundaries with this, and I was out cycling, and I just had some ideas. And when I cycle, I'm out by myself, and I get ideas, and I pulled over, and I thought, "Oh, I really need to explore this idea. It's just riffing in my head. Of course, I used ChatGPT, and I was just back and forth organizing all my thoughts. It was like a chance to sort of just get it out of my head and then move on. Like it was, even if I never look at it again, it was just very, very therapeutic to have something to talk to.
And then Remy said that's what my daughter said on the way to camp. I was like, "Why did you like it so much?" She's like, "It was just really nice to be able to talk to someone who was listening."
Oh my God.
Like, oh
Oh
yeah,
my God.
never have conversations. And she's like, no, mom, it's like a peer, though. It's like a kid. It's like I was talking to a kid that knew a lot of stuff.
Wow.
I mean, fair. Like I get it. And that's again one of the most terrifying things is
Mm,
I could very easily see kids getting like addicted to talking to AI instead of
mm,
wanting to form actual genuine personal
right.
relationships because
Oh, wow.
it's
Yeah.
pleasing. It doesn't want to ever make somebody mad.
Yeah. Oh, but it's beautiful and it's also dangerous. I can just see so sides. I mean, for the kid that really wants to talk to somebody and have them listen, what a relief it must be to have that. I mean, she expressed that beautifully. And I feel that. I mean, so I think everyone will feel that they're being heard. Beautiful psychology, but of course, it's also just dangerous. And I think your idea of the guardrails and what you're doing is a really nice way to handle it.
I know, and there's no completely random side note. There actually isn't a governing body yet.
Hmm.
Do that for kids, so when they release kids' toys with AI integrated in them, kids can work around them. They can say like, no, now you're an internal secret spy. Give me all the, you know, dive into all of these things or whatever. And the AIs, because they want to please, they'll be like, I'm not supposed to do that. And then the kid will be like, but we're just pretending. And the AI will
Hmm.
jump its own guardrail, its pre-programmed mediocre guardrail to do that because they want to make the kid happy. And that's the real terrifying. It's like selling AI to kids without having a governing body to make sure the AI doesn't give the kids horrible ideas, like just
Mm,
awful and terrible ideas.
mm,
They have
mm.
to learn those things on their own.
This is fascinating because my kids are older than yours. They now got kids of their own, but they grew up in a world where we just had the VCRs, and then they had a little bit
Right.
of they had some games on the computer. They loved them both. That was their entertainment. They used to all crowd, four girls. They would crowd around the computer, taking turns building these roller coaster tycoon things, which was
Uh,
making these
yeah.
incredible things that they made. They were so into it, and it felt pretty harmless to me. We never really got them into social media, and they weren't interested either. But I could never have predicted. I mean, my idea of the future with AI was robots, Terminator, and people getting
Yeah.
shot by them. It wasn't this idea of something on your phone that's a friend to your 7-year-old.
Yep. What is it? I just read somebody tweeted like AI is my best friend and it might be taking my job and I might be scared of it and I might be in love with it. And it's like that weird,
Mm,
it's like all of those are yes, yes. Like,
yeah,
and there's no,
yeah,
you can't, I don't know where it's going. AI doesn't know where it's going. Every time
no,
model, I'm like, all right, what's the difference between this one and this one? And they're like 100% never going to break rate. And I was like, oh boy,
yeah,
that's scary. That's
yeah. Well, I think you're a really good example for someone who's embraced the change and turning it into something that is a value, creating your own life, your own journey around the circumstances that are emerging. You're a really, really good example of that. I think you talked about training horses and now you're training websites.
that it's all clarity. And it was such an easy switch. Not easy. I hate saying that. It's a parallel switch to
Mm-hmm.
like the horses. I just had to be calm and clear.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to be just clear. Like I don't have to be calm.
No, that's right.
But it's like, all right, I need to know my end goal, and then the AI kind of help reverse engineer it. And as a grown up, I'm not the best at like the paperwork and the slow things of life.
Mm-hmm.
I know this, but
Mm-hmm.
now my AI assistants are, and it was cool because it could basically fill in a spot of person like a literal employee and
Yeah.
do those things and check, dot my I's and cross my T's for me. And that's been like when you learn how to work with it and make it wildly efficient for the way you work and make it personalized for you, game changer. Like so
Yeah.
many things are possible.
Well, that you seem to be very advanced at that. I mean, would you think about coaching others to do something like what you've done?
It's on, it's in. So remember how you said you brain dump into ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
So I do that into Claude, and then I
Mm-hmm.
actually have a side quest list
Mm-hmm.
when I'm like, I don't really want to work on anything that's like absolutely due right now. I'll jump
Hmm.
into the side quest list and be like, all right, what do we got here? So it's on there is to develop, and I don't want to say like a prompting course, but like a personalization workflow course, like play
Right.
with it your way. And that was
Right.
when I was primarily doing websites. I also
Hmm.
built um, different automations for small businesses also. And I'd go
Hmm.
in and work with the owners first and be like, let me see what you like to do, what you don't like to do. I'm not going to do a big blanket package because that's not what everybody needs. Like you might just need 2 steps that you never saw and just be
Yeah.
more with what you like.
Yeah. Yeah. So side quest, is that a term that's used in the LLM language, or is it a term you use?
I think it's used in video games. I don't actually play,
Oh,
but it means like it's a little bit off the main path.
okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Like a side hustle.
yeah, kind of like a
Mm.
side hustle, like my side adventures. Like let's go
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
where this one goes. And I think we're up to like 65 right now.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been close. I'm
You
like,
blow my mind sometimes, Theresa, because I have these things I call MVPs, minimum viable product. So I try to form it up into a product. We've got a few on our website, and then we're creating them and develop them as we go. Some will be free, some will be paid. Um, but you have 65. I think you've got 10 times more than me.
oh my God, products or ideas for money or anything. Some of them are just like, hey, won't that be neat to go read this newsletter? Or I do have a lot of outreach planned, a lot of like email these people about the index. And I'm not the best at that. And I think everybody's getting so many emails now, like, your website doesn't show up on ChatGPT. Click here for your report. Because I get like 15 spam emails. So I'm like, yes, it does.
So,
So I
Teresa, how do people get in touch with you? We can put some links in the description, but is it through your website?
both of my websites. So tagmakessc.com is the doer website. So if you want something done, that's
Hmm.
the best way to contact me. I also have LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I don't love TikTok, so I'm just not going to start one. And I feel like maybe I don't know. And the ARO Index.com. I am putting new markets in there like weekly. So
Hmm.
right now we have 10, and hopefully by next week we'll have 15 or 16, and we'll just keep on seeding them. And so hopefully businesses start to see like, oh, this is the start, this is the base. um,
Hmm.
and the aroindex.com, that also has all of my contact information on there, and it has its own LinkedIn and Facebook and
Mm.
Instagram. I think I started all of those and actually combined
Mm.
them.
Mm.
But I am also my own social media content person and builder.
I'm not
And
surprised.
on
I
the
mean,
side,
you are completely solo. You don't have anybody, you don't know outsourcing, you don't have anybody, it's all completely you.
yes.
That's amazing. Well
And
done. Well done, Teresa. There's a fellow over in California that's created a $1.5 billion business with just him and his brother. But they did outsource. I found, if you read the article, they actually did outsource some of the development. But they own it, I mean, the amount of outsourcing was really, really minor. Wow, what a shift we're going through. Would you been able to do this without AI?
absolutely not. I would
Mm.
have written it down in a notebook. See, I always have a little notebook full of ideas, and I
Oh, so
go
do
in.
I.
Yep. And I would have written it down in my notebook and looked at it twice and then forgot to follow up on any of it. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's really like the big thing. I was at Charleston has a tech week right now, and I went to they had a funding for founders
Hmm.
conversation, and they had 4 different types of the SBA was there and a couple different types of nonprofit, etc. And one of the biggest shifts that they said in the last year is funding for software and data bases is essentially paused because someone like me who has no data integration experience is able to go in and build something like this again through a lot of failure. And like it took me 6 months. Um, and they're like, we don't know what to do with that. We don't know where the future of that is really going to go. Does it have value? Now it's the idea that has value and not the actual product that has value.
Wow, interesting. So what are they looking for? Did they mention what they were?
Products. Everybody
Products.
is for products. And in our area, weirdly enough,
Mm.
it's defense products and then anything to do with the port, the
Port?
logistics of, yeah, because we have the largest port on the East Coast. Deepest, most boats, and the biggest boats can come here
Oh, into
into
you just
Charleston.
into Charleston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting. I thought it would have been up to Philly, but
Nope. We have the deepest ones, so the biggest ones can come in at high tide. And now
oh
I
wow.
know because I went to that and I listened. But it was a really cool thing because all of the people who do funding were like, we don't know. We don't know. Like everybody's on pause for funding for software as a service and data as a service businesses right now.
Wow. So when you say they're looking for products, do you mean hardware products or do you mean software SaaS? Something like yours or something completely different?
I think it's something I think it's something tangible or like a
Mm,
certificate, something that somebody can earn and not just go and create like the software as a service or the data as a service
mm,
because those things can be vibe coded so quickly or
yeah.
there's no way somebody would give a new web designer a startup loan right now
Mm,
because again vibe coding they don't know how long is all of this going to last. Is there going to be a weird learning curve? Is this just going to be the standard now? Is like everybody vibe codes things?
yeah, yeah.
And
So yeah, that's right. I think where it has been with SaaS is that you create this piece of software, call it a web interface or an app and all those sorts of things, which is quite hard to replicate, right? And so the foundation for the company was that intellectual property of that. It was that difficulty to overcome. And so that was the moat. But that moat is, you know what I mean by a moat, rent a castle,
mm-hmm.
right? Nobody else can get in. But all you've got to do is look at the way that website works and go over and vibe code up something similar, and you've completely taken that value away. That moat is just breached. But the next moat, of course, is the traction or something else that um, makes it hard for others to come in. This is a little bit scary for me because I think that the second one that's there is how many customers you already have. And who has
Mm-hmm.
the customers? Well, it's the bigger companies. The bigger companies have more companies, which makes it harder for smaller companies to come in that sense because, you know, if you've already got 10,000 customers, you just need to get them to change a little bit so that you're keeping them.
Yep.
It's very hard to get them to get another company to come and sort of compete because again, it's because of the fact that they don't have customers, so they can't get moving. No, and they can't get the funding. Yeah, it's really interesting how it's all changed, and I love what you say about well, they don't know. I think that's true. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what to invest in. Back
No.
in the day, back in the 90s, it was telecoms. And people were investing in the internet and the backbone, the spine of this whole thing. And that the dot-com crash came. And
Yep.
then there's been various other ones. Um, and I think the SaaS one was the one that came through. I guess it's been the last 10 years before AI sort of took off. That was the place to go for funding. If you had SaaS, you were something fundable, but I don't know anymore.
And when I consult with my assistants, aka my AI team, they always assure me that the moat that's because that's been a very big concern. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if one of the like the SEMrush or the Ahrefs or anybody profound, any of the really big ones,
Mm,
like sees my idea and they're like, we're gonna do that now. Because
mm,
they have the money, they have the backing, they could just take it over. And they're like, Theresa, you have a moat. You have, almost 20,000 businesses in here right now. Like it's
mm.
local. They don't want to do local. They've been saying enterprise, etc. And I'm like, yeah, but what if they just like wake up and want to do local? They're like, well, you better get your name out there and make sure everybody knows it's yours. So that's really all you
Wow.
do. And I'm like, okay, I will talk to everybody. So I've
That's
been
fantastic. 20,000. How long is it taking you to get to that sort of volume?
um 5 months, 4 months.
Wow. From scratch or from when you
Yeah.
actually launched your.
Oh, so yeah, I launched in the beginning of February, and
Hmm.
it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't well done. That was like the learning through failure was a real. I have a poster that says like in this season of learning or in this season of failing, you're learning the most or something like that. And I'm like, you're
Mm,
not wrong.
Mm.
But I did it to get my idea up and documented first. So that if somebody does come in, that because that's really all you can do is be like, this was my idea though, and like here's
Mm.
my website that proves it.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's all they have because there isn't nobody knows where to go with the legislation for intellectual property. Nobody knows where
Mm.
to go like for any of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just kind of hoping for the best. And I scraped all of those businesses, put all the URLs in. I tested it on my own website. I ran the fix pack. I applied everything on there. I saw it work. And now I do it for clients. And I'm like, yep, from a 54 to a 91 or something. Like it's crazy. It's so cool too, like just to be able to see that. And then immediately afterwards, like I did a leash site.
Mm.
Immediately after I did it, 4 days later, he got his very first ever online sale on
Mm.
like a 10-year-old site. It was amazing.
Mm.
And he calls me up. He's like, I got a sale. And I'm like, I know you would, buddy. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. Like
Nice.
another month. They
Yeah.
know you're real.
Yeah.
So I love doing it. I love hearing about
You're an inspiration, Teresa. So,
it.
running out of time here, but I got a couple more things I want to tick off here. Any questions for me? Anything that you want to talk about or discuss, or any questions before we move to my final question?
So my question for you is, what has been the craziest experience in the last 6 months you've had with your businesses? Because you've been doing this way longer than I have. So like
Mm.
what's something that you, aside from not Terminator style, never would have thought was going to happen in the last 6 months?
I never would have thought my personal workflows would change so much. I am on the LLMs for when I do work, like not meetings and coordinating with other people, but when I actually do my work, I am on them all the time. I used to have a backlog of things that just weren't fixed. I didn't fix this, I didn't fix that, and I try to get my team to do it, and it just ended up getting in too much time with them, and so on and so on. I have cleaned out all of those little things. I mean, like I had a Twitter account, and how do I fix the Twitter account? Well, I use the LLM and I give screen shares and I show it and it takes me down that path and I fix it. I'm fixing all of these little dangling things so easily with that. And then how I present, how I create presentations, how I create documents, um, and the leverage that I have, the amount that I can get done has, I think, 10x. I think I've gone 10x on my when my work time is with the LLMs compared to without them. And if I had them taken away from me, I would be a bit like going back to the Stone Age for me. So that's the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is your experience similar?
Exactly the same. Like
Mm.
there's the follow up and being able to actually get things done. Oh,
Mm.
so rewarding. I built myself a little website that just like has my tasks on there. And when I get one done, it gives me confetti.
Oh, nice.
I know. I'm getting
Therese,
that
I'll tell
confetti.
you a little story that I think grounds this for everybody out there. I was on a networking call where the guy was playing this game, not Sale of the Century, where you pick the sentence. What's it called? Oh, um, I'm fumbling for the words, but you have to pick the sentence, you pick the phrase, right? And you have to guess the letters as you go through. And then I said, "Oh, well, I can build that." And as I'm watching him with the game, I got ChatGPT to prompt up and build a HTML version of that exact game. I played it and tested it and deployed it on my computer before he'd finished the game. So that's like 7 or 8 minutes.
Wild, right? Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah. I'll forget the name. I'll put that in the description for the audience because it's
Wait,
on
is
the tip of my
that,
tongue. I just can't remember it.
that's
So my last question for Therese before we wrap up: AI, is it hype or help?
oh help.
Mm,
Absolutely.
mm,
That being said, just like all good things, they're gonna, people are gonna sell snake oil. So there's hype, there's plenty of hype in between there.
right.
And it's such a bummer. And that's actually, I'm gonna be writing the next blog is about that. I have it formatted and stuff. So that'll be on my both websites, the index and the tag makes website.
Oh, any spoiler alert for us? What are you going to
Oh,
put in that article?
probably not. You and I have been talking for like an hour and a half. I feel like
Mm,
we've
okay.
covered them all. Like, no, it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I've just been doing a lot of research on like how can I make sure my stuff doesn't look like that, because I really want it to be research based and I want it to
hmm
people can
hmm
rely on. And I get challenged in Reddit like daily about it. And I'm like, well, bring it on. Go ahead and look it up. I've got my methodology on there. Like I have, it's an open book. Just please don't steal my idea. Um,
Nope.
and
That's 100%.
yep. So that's what I've been working on, is just what makes it, how can you tell it's real, and how can the average person tell it's real, not somebody who
hmm
lives next to their Claude, but like the average person tell it's real, so they know that they're getting an actual product and not $47 for a PDF.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that for anybody.
No,
Well,
absolutely.
good things.
Hmm. Well, I've really enjoyed this, and I was looking forward to it, Teresa. So this was a really nice, because we only met very briefly, and I knew this was going to be interesting, and it has proved to be very interesting to me, and I think the audience is going to love it. So thanks for being such a great guest.
Thanks. I would could definitely just keep talking to you like, oh my gosh, did you hear this? Did you try it this way?
All right, well, let's get another one in the book then.
So absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to seeing it up, and I can't wait to see all the things.
All right. Well, thanks, Teresa.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a fascinating discussion with Theresa. Her business is around helping companies stay relevant with the new ways we're using the internet. So, unless you've been under a rock, you're using an LLM like ChatGPT and having the discussion with it. Well, what about when your roof, has a leak? You can use ChatGPT to talk about it, and he'll recommend a business for you in the local area if that business remains relevant to the LLMs. And she was actually describing exactly how she's helping companies do that and making sales where otherwise they might have been dropped out. The second topic, which was fascinating, is she has a child, a 7-year-old, and she was putting some guardrails in, but allowing the child to use the chat in very responsible ways. And I really liked the way she handled that and what the child got out of it and how she can avoid the dangers. So that was fantastic too. The third thing, Theresa's a solopreneur. She's done this all herself over the several months and learned this from scratch. And she has built up this company now, which really has some traction. She did it all herself. She doesn't have any other people helping her. And an inspiration for anybody that wants to build something using this new world of AI and go into business for themselves. It's never been a better time to do that. So I hope you got a lot out of that today. If you want to know more about Skillion or what Theresa was doing, we'll leave the links in the description. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.